friends, Goddess of Austin here, and today is April 12th, 2018. It's been 6 days now since Backpage and a couple other big sites got shut down. And apparently yesterday, President Trump just signed the, the FOSTA bill, governing ideas of trafficking, but really targeted at silencing the sex worker, right? Shutting down all the big websites or any website that would have hosting for a directory, like a phone directory for working people, sex workers, working people. Now I want to just say that sex workers are workers. They are people who go to work. You know, they're not trying to get a free ride from the government. They're not on welfare. Probably most of them are not on welfare. You know, probably most of them are not on food stamps. You know, probably most sex workers fend for themselves when it comes to financial burdens. You know, they probably deal with their own financial burdens. And now that the sex worker is burdened by not being able to work or safely be able to work, we're in some really interesting times here, you know. Let me tell you what I believe a sex worker is not. I don't believe sex workers as a whole, in general, I don't think they're violent people. You know, I mean, could you have some people mixed in there that might have a short temper? Maybe. You know, but most sex workers are hoping to have return clients. You know, like why would any sex worker treat their people bad unless that person was a complete jerk and asking for it, kind of. Maybe they were an idiot on every level possible. Maybe you'd have a sex worker who'd have a short fuse with them. But for the most part, they're not creating violent crimes. Sex work is not a violent crime. You know, it shouldn't be a crime whatsoever, I don't think. You know, making it hard for people to meet, taking down all the personal sections, even genuine personal sections of just girls and guys who kind of want to meet, you know, like dating wise. I mean, without sex worker transactions involved. Those are gone. You know, so why? Because, you know, a lot of sex workers find their way into those categories. So we're in a very interesting time right now. I would say that a lot of civil rights are in jeopardy. You know, it's riding the line of civil rights. And I think what we're going to see, what's going to probably happen, is there's going to be an uprising. Some way or another, sex workers will not stay quiet. They can't. They won't be able to stay quiet for too long. There are some people who resonate with this work, you know, for various many reasons, you know, and they're not being forced to go to work. They're not trapped. I mean, on some level, we're kind of trapped because it's hard to find your way out of the industry. Now, that's a truth. It's hard to find your way out once you get in. But I would say most sex workers aren't being squished underneath someone's thumb, being forced to work, pulled out of bed, made to work all day, give most your money away to the person who runs the ad and answers the phone. Now that might be true for some, but I'd say that percentage is extremely small. Most sex workers these days are very independent for the most part, you know? So they're not violent people out there creating violent crimes. They're not, in general, they're not probably out there doing fraud. You know, if you're into your work, you're busy, you know, no matter what your work is, you know. So a sex worker who has a quality clientele, a steady clientele, he or she is probably busy, you know, too busy to try to have fraudulent transactions or creating fraud. Now, obviously, this is in general. I'm just speaking in general, you know. Sex workers, are they drug dealers? I don't know. I would say the majority of sex workers probably not, you know. If they were making more money selling drugs, that's what they'd be doing, you know. But because they probably make more money being a sex worker, most sex workers probably aren't slinging drugs. You know, the quality sex worker probably isn't even using drugs, you know, and if she is, maybe it's something like the glass of wine at the end of the day, maybe some marijuana. I don't know. I mean, I haven't smoked marijuana in over 6 weeks. I should have put my dog away. I haven't been in the gig for a few weeks now because I already did my final tour. I've been making strides to free myself from this industry, but I think in general, sex workers are not selling drugs. You know what I mean? So what else are they not? You know, they're not violent crime people. They're not selling drugs. They're not probably committing fraud. You know, sex workers in general keep to themselves. They're a very solitary kind of creature. You know, if you see them in everyday life, like in the market or driving down the street or in the gym or Disneyland or any place you might walk across and see and meet and greet a sex worker without even ever knowing it. You know, like on the beach or at a park, you know, anything. You know, we're in general, the sex worker is a very solitary creature. You know, they're not out and about socializing with a lot of people. There's probably a lot of reasons for that, you know, so they're quiet. In general, they're quiet. They're not stirring up a lot of trouble. They're not trying to draw attention to themselves. You know, they're not creating bad things. All they do, if you want to consider that bad, is erotic labor. That's all, you know, and that can manifest in different ways. A dancer, a cam girl, a sensual massage therapist, like what I've done for 18 years. The full service girl, and homosexual sex workers, transgender sex workers. You know, there's more than that. There's more than that probably, you know, but they're happy to go to work for their money. Not that maybe a lot of them truly love their job, but do you love your job? What job do you do? Do you love it? Do you love it every day? What do you do? I mean, I've spoke to lawyers who tell me they hate their job. Absolutely hate their job. So there's one profession who doesn't like to go to work. Lawyers, they don't like to go to work. Who else doesn't like to go to work? Maybe some people in the entertainment industry, the film industry, because you know why? It's hard. It's hard to go to work in that industry, you know? So maybe some of them don't like to go to work. Maybe construction workers, maybe some of them are tired of going to work. Mechanics, maybe some mechanics are tired of slinging wrenches, you know, but they still go to work anyways because that's their trade. That's what they know what to do, you know? They know how to do it, and they do it well, even though they don't like it. Probably the same is true for a sex worker, no matter what branch you're on. I mean, come on now. If nobody ever had to go to work, if you never had to go to work and you had all your needs met, would you go to work? You probably wouldn't, and it doesn't matter what your gig is, you know? So I just want to say in general that the sex worker is an honest person. They're going to work, they're making their own money. They're not relying on the government to support them. They're not on welfare, probably for the majority. Probably most sex workers are not on welfare. Probably most sex workers are not receiving food stamps. But now they may be forced to have to go get on welfare. Some may be forced to go apply for food stamps, you know? There need to be programs to help the sex worker, especially right now more than ever. You can't just take away their livelihood, their means to an end, the way that they're accustomed to making money, and just like, oh, poof, all gone, that's all you get. Figure it out. You can't do that without expecting some kind of strain on society as a whole. So for all you squares out there who think it's supery dupery cool that the sex worker is struggling right now, well, guess what? Guess where your tax dollars are going to now go to? Welfare for the sex worker. You're going to start feeding them every month now. Food stamps for the sex worker. Is that what you really wanted? Because it didn't have to be that way. The sex workers are happy to make money for themselves and live an independent life. They're happy to do it. Like, again, I can't say they're all happy to go to work, but are you happy to go to work? Are you? Do you absolutely love your job a whole bunch? A whole bunch? Most people like their job okay, right? Most people try to put themselves in a profession where if you like your job, you're never going to work a day in your life, right? So, but not everybody attains that. So there's some people out there who are living an honest life who hate their job. Hate it. So the fact that sex workers can deal with erotic labor no matter what branch they're on, and that they go to work and they pay their bills, they're paying their rent, they're paying their utilities, they're paying mortgages maybe, they're paying car notes. Some of them even pay taxes. There's one website I can think of that every year during tax season, there's all sorts of, there's an accountant recommended that works with the sex worker to help them do their taxes. I mean, some of them pay taxes, you know, so you act like we're some kind of disease and that we don't have a place in society, but we serve society in such an invaluable way. You'll never realize how valuable we are until now. Watch. I don't wish this upon anybody, but I can almost guarantee sex crimes are going to go up, right? They probably will. And again, you know, taxpayers are going to pick up the slack. You can thank your president for that. All you red state people. Which is ironic, right? Because the red states are the people who, those are the states who I find are the most busiest. Wonder about that. So I just wanted to say that real quick. Sex workers are workers. And they're happy to go to work. They're happy to not be a strain on the economy. So now that you've taken away the venues and you're going to continue to take away the advertising venues, you probably can bank on sex workers needing federal assistance now. So there you go. There you go, America. Have fun supporting all the sex workers for their food bill each month and all that jazz. I'm just so thankful and grateful I've been making strides to get out. You know, I'd say I'm waist high in my pursuits to get out, you know. So thank God. You know, thank God for me that I had that I've had this initiative that I've been taking and I've been following up steps and I created this YouTube station for you. Go look back on my very first videos. February 13th, 2018, I grew a set of balls. Or my ovaries dropped. However you want to look at it. My courage came through. I got brave. And I'm just going to continue to get braver. So I have a few more things I want to talk to you about, but I'm going to wrap this video up for now. So thanks for being here with me. If you found any value in this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to know more, please subscribe. And in the meantime, bright blessings and be well.